Howdy folks. Sooner or later you're going to break a mandolin string and you need to know how to change them. And even if you don't break one by accident, they're going to get nasty and start sounding bad. And then it's time for a complete new set. I'm going to take a few minutes and show you how to change one. Okay, so we've got the mandolin laying here in the Mandolin hospital, about to have the operation done on it. I like to sit in a chair and just lay it in my lap. And I actually start when I'm going to change a whole set, I start with the bass strings first, which are the wound strings, and I work in this direction. Once I get to the second half, I like to flip the mandolin around and do my twisting over on this way and work in reverse, but you can do it however you feel comfortable with. So here we are. First thing you're going to need to do is get the string off. So if you broke the string, that's going to be really simple because you're going to just have wire dangling on both ends, and you're just going to need to unwind it and get rid of it. In this case, I'm going to show you how to take one off. First thing you're going to need to do is come down here to your tailpiece. If you've got a cover on it, that cover needs to come off, obviously, so you can get to the little hooks where you attach the string. Now all I'm going to do is just kind of lower the pitch of the string. I just want to wind it down. Got to get it loose enough that you can pull it off the hook down here. Now some people who are really into doing this fast, as soon as you got the string good and loose, will grab your wire cutters and just cut the thing. You know, I usually don't do that. I mean, you can, it's up to you. Definitely don't cut them when they're up at pitch or they're going to go flying and you might hurt yourself. I just like to just keep winding it down. Why cut it? I mean, who knows? You might fall on hard times, you need to use this string again, and it's still semi-perfectly good. So get the string off, take it, twist it, wrestle it out of the tuner. You got the old string. It's a good habit to get into, to always wind that string up, and don't leave it laying around on the floor where somebody's going to step on it. It might be you. Okay, so we got the string off. Now we've got to put the new one on. I've already taken one string out of here. Just be careful when you're unwinding the string. These little ends can come flying out and might hit you in the eye or something. So just be kind of careful there. Now you'll see on mandolin strings have a loop end, and most acoustic guitar strings have a ball, a little brass ball on the end. But mandolin strings are loop end, and they're designed to fit right on these little hooks. There are some newer tailpiece designs now that are slightly different, but they all work in the same principle in that you take the loop and hook it over the hook. Might as well point out here too, you'll notice I've got a little piece of leather wedged in between the strings and the tailpiece. It's actually glued onto the tailpiece, and that serves as a little bit of a mute to keep this section of the string between the bridge and the tailpiece a little bit quieter. They still make a little bit of a sound, but it keeps it from jangling with real out-of-tune notes. So okay, you're hooked on here now. Now we're going to go up to the peg head. Okay, now up on this end, there's a hole running through the little shaft of the tuner. I like to turn the button until that hole is sideways. In other words, the hole is passing through in this direction. That's my personal preference for doing this. Then you take the end of the string, and I'm holding the free end down here, trying to keep a little bit of tension so it doesn't fall off the hook down on the tailpiece. I'm going to take the end and stick it through that hole, like so. Now you always want to come from the center of the peg head out toward the tuner buttons. For all these strings on the bass side, they come from the inside toward the out. The ones on the treble side go just the opposite. You'll line the hole up sideways and stick it through, pointing that way. So we're coming through in that direction. Now I like to have a little bit of slack in the string, not much, maybe enough where I can raise the string up about an inch. Now at this point, this free end of the string, you're going to put a bend in it, a 90-degree bend in it, or you could say a kink. I want to bend it up towards the end of the peg head. So it's passed through the hole, and now it's made a sharp 90-degree bend. Now I'm going to reach up, grab that free end, and bring it all the way around and go underneath the string, like so. And I'm pulling it tight. Now this is sort of the tricky move. The free end that I'm holding out here, I'm going to go 180 degrees around the string, pointing it straight up towards the end of the peg head. That is going to lock that string as soon as I start turning the peg. So now I've made that second bend, I can let go of it, and I'm going to start tightening it up. As I tighten it, that little loop is going to get trapped beneath this part of the string, and it will not slip. Now, once I've got a little bit of tension on it, I'm going to make sure I'm in the nut slot and also in the bridge slot, and then we'll tune it up. Before we tighten it all the way up and tune it, you want to make sure your string is in its little notch in the bridge, and of course you want to make sure you're still on the hook and that you're in the little groove in the nut. Now at that point, I'm going to start tuning it up. Just trying to get it close. That new string is going to stretch a good bit. So sometimes I'll even leave it a little bit high and then just move on to the next string. And you're going to have to come back and retune it several times before it'll finally stabilize. The last thing you got to get rid of is this little guy right here. And I'm just going to grab my cutters. I like to take the cutters and just lay it on top of the tuner, hold the string up, and just chop it off. That's it. Now that little piece of wire too, you want to make sure you do something with that thing. Roll it up, put it in a trash can or something. Just, don't leave it laying around on stage where you're playing, because somebody's going to step on it and somebody's going to have to clean up after you. And they find their way of weaving into carpets and rugs. So just go ahead and take care of that and get rid of that. Well, that's not so hard, is it? I always keep a spare set of strings in my case because I never know when I'm going to break one. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my other mandolin lessons on the site, and I'll see you later.